Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. And in today's video we are talking about fertiliser, because actually this time last year we'd got most of this already spread, and so there's a reason why we haven't spread this, and it'll be a complete utter waste of time because there's no rain. So we're going to go and have a look at the grass now and discuss why we haven't spread that. Right, so we're now actually in one of our grazing paddocks, and normally we would have cows out by now. 2 years ago we had near enough ideal perfect conditions, and the cows went out on the 7th of April. Now there was a couple of reasons behind that. We had a good winter, we had good grass growth all winter, and we managed to get them out on the 7th of April. And they went out then purely because we TB tested on the 6th of April and we were actually running out of silage. We'd had 2022 was a bad year for making silage and grass growth, so we were short on silage that winter. So soonest opportunity they went out, and we had a good winter to compensate that, which was very kind to us. We're actually very lucky for that. But last year they went out, I think it was on the 18th of April. So that date's actually coming up very soon, because today's the 11th. So that's a week's time. We might have cows out by then, don't know. But that was delayed because last winter was so wet. It was catastrophic how wet it was. But we were quite lucky. We'd made a lot of silage the year before, and we were buying in silage because we knew we were having a late spring because it was so wet. Now this year we took on extra ground last summer for mowing and grazing, so we got plenty of silage left, and we were quite fortunate, so we've not had to buy any. The grass is grown a little bit. Excuse the dog. The grass has grown quite a bit, but there's a lot of bare patches in the bottom. The reason behind that is we just haven't had any rain. In the last 2 weeks, we've had no rain whatsoever, nothing. That's why the fertiliser's still sat in bags. There's absolutely waste of time spreading it. Pointless fertiliser in this weather. Grass would not benefit from it at all. All it would do is it would just sit on top of the soil and not go anywhere. So even though last winter was so wet, we'd actually already got the fertiliser on. Yet this winter this early spring has been so dry. We've not had any rain for 2 weeks, and probably the 3-4 weeks before that, we had very little in the way of rain. That it wasn't enough there to put fertiliser on. I can't see it'll have washed it in quick enough. So fertiliser, if you don't already know, it's like, our stuff, you can get it's either prills or compound, or it's granular. Granular stuff's probably better in dry weather. If you spread that and it has a small amount of rain, it would wash in quicker. The stuff we've got is prilled. That does need quite a bit of rain to wash it in, which normally isn't a problem. But this spring is a problem. So are we looking at a drought? Are we looking at a droughtness? She doesn't know, we don't know. Could well be at this rate. Could be in for a very dry year, which is quite worrying. But good thing we've got plenty of silage, and why it's not actually we're not actually in a dire situation where we're having to turn cows out because we're running out of food to feed them. So we are quite fortunate on that point of view. But cows belong in a field, and if the grass isn't growing, we've got a problem. And the grass should be growing, but it isn't because it's been so dry. I'll just flip the camera around and you can have a look at the cracks in the ground. So all these cracks here is because it's so dry. I mean, we don't have much soil as it is. There's a few tractor tread marks there, I won't show you that bit, but all this here, this is naturally cracked. And you can stick your fingers down that. we don't have much soil here. I'll be totally honest with you. And in the summer, you don't want more than 3 dry days in a row. It's that bad. Unless you're silaging, of course. But at the minute, at this time of year, we'd normally have rain. This wouldn't be happening. So this is quite worrying. Is this because of climate change? Possibly. Do I believe in climate change? I'm a bit on the fence about that, to be totally honest with you. You always have a dry year, and then you'll have a wet year. You know, it comes and goes, weather, but this is just purely because we just had an unseasonable amount of dry weather. That's all I can really say. In the past year, years that have gone by, you've always had droughts, heavy rainfall summers, years where you've had lots of rain, other years where you've had next to no rain. But they do cancel themselves out. Mother Nature does have the way of doing that. So if you have a dry summer and you don't have enough grass to feed your cows, what normally tends to happen, fingers crossed, yeah, if Mother Nature plays the ball, you'll have a short winter. But still, that doesn't... Cows belong in a field, in my own opinion. Belong out grazing. But just at the minute, if we turned them out, did munch through all the grass we've currently got, which isn't significantly much at the minute, which there isn't much there, and literally within, a week, 2 weeks, there'd be nothing. And if we carry on if we don't get any rain in the next 2 weeks, we're going to be in a mess, and then we'll be back onto feeding full on winter feeding round bale silage in a yard, which defeats the object of turning them out. So that's the reason why we've not turned the cows out. Cows are still in, and we're just hoping that some rain's going to come so that we can get cows out and get fertiliser on and get the grass growing, because at the minute it just isn't growing. There's not enough moisture in the soil to kickstart it and get it going. Bear that in mind though. As soon as some rain does come, it will grow. It'll just kickstart, give it a kick and get it going, and hopefully we'll be able to put fertiliser on cows out. So yeah, but I've had a few people comment on videos saying, cows will be out soon and what have you, but this is the reason why. Just because it's so dry. There's no rain. It's just too dry. This is not a problem we'd normally have at this time of year. It's definitely not a problem we had last year. So, I mean, ideal situation, you swap some of the rain from last winter for this, for the dry weather we've got this spring, rather. So, yeah, but try while you can see that. The cows are just there, still at the gate. I'm not going to go any closer to them because they're going to get upset and think, "Ooh, he's stood in the field. Why can't you open the gate and let us out?" But this is actually late evening, to be honest with you. It's just gone 8 o'clock. It's still light. The sun's just set over there. Whoop. But yeah, it's wrong time of day. You'd let them out first thing in the morning, not at night. But there is bales that we're feeding at the minute, so that's the bales that they'll get fed tomorrow. I think them ones there are for the milk cows and them there are for the young stock and dry cow. Also there's a field roller there as well. You'll see that video coming up very soon, hopefully. But yeah, hopefully that answers anyone's questions of why the cows haven't gone out yet. Just purely because it's so dry. I mean, yeah, it's just one of them. Can't really do much about the weather. I've seen a few eager beavers have turned the cows out. There's a few that have even started silaging. I'm not judging, but that's getting a little bit too far ahead of yourself, in my own opinion. But it's just one of them. It'll come, rain will come, and then we'll be able to get cows out, because at the minute, I mean, look at these cracks here. I know we're right on the corner of the field, and it does always get wet here, really wet. But still, I mean, look, I can get my hand down there, nearly a full finger length down that crack. It's just so dry. But saying that, as soon as it rains, this will just turn back to mud, hopefully. Hopefully it doesn't go too far the other way and ends up too wet, but we are quite lucky up here. If we do have a very wet year, we can still get out cows grazing and they're perfectly fine. Yeah, we're always in the situation where it's easier to take moisture out of something rather than looking for moisture, which is why we are actually at the minute. But yeah, hopefully, see, we have got a bit of grass, but not enough yet. Not enough to fill the appetite of the cows. Also, if anyone is interested to know, we don't paddock graze cows, so we don't let them have one field one day and another next. The system we've got at the minute means we have to, just the way things are, maybe in a year or two we might change it, I don't know, but we like set stock them, so they go out into, they have a certain amount of fields for like a week, and then they'll go into another fields and the following, see how long the grass lasts in that field, and then when they're vetting up in that field, let them have another field and go from there. But it's a pretty old-fashioned way of doing it when most people have a paddock set to a certain size, and that paddock will do them one day and then move on to another paddock, and then I like so many day rotation or whatever they have. But yeah, hopefully that's answered all your questions. So if you've liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe below, and hopefully we'll see you very soon with the cows going out. Hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood. Well, see you, bye. But what I'll just put this at the end of the video. If we come on here with a tractor now and a fertiliser spreader and just spread all the fertiliser on the field, all it would do is just sit here on the ground, not do anything. It wouldn't make the grass grow. That's what I'm trying to that's what I'm trying to get the point I'm trying to get across. It just wouldn't go in, it wouldn't make grass grow, it would just sit on top, and actually there's every chance that the heat off the sun, because it's been quite warm, it would just evaporate up, which obviously we don't want that, because it'd be just a waste of time and waste of money. And also I'll just put a clip in of a couple of mornings ago where we actually had quite a heavy frost, although I did get it after morning milking and the frost were lifting, but it was like -2 or -3 the other morning. Grass won't grow at that temperature. It needs to be continuous temperature above 7 degrees, I think. But yeah, just thought I'd just put that bit in.